Start.
Hello friends, good evening and good evening my dear sir. My name is Suraj Maurya and today I am here to tell you about our compiler, which is very important topic in our computer science. So I would like to tell about with this one example about compiler, because compiler is a mediator which help us to translate our code into machine code that can computer easily understand. So the mediator we can understand like we are the person, we know Hindi language, and the other person is also that who knows about English or another language. If I want to talk with him, so we can not talk easily. We need a mediator that can translate our language in the form of any other language, so that the person can easily understand. So on the basis of this concept, the compiler is made for the machines and computer. If a person know about any programming language like Python, C++ or Java, so the computer don't know about these type of things. So we need a mediator, that name is compiler, and compiler can easily translate our high level language code into machine code, so that the computer can easily understand and it can perform your task whatever you want from your computer. So the main purpose of compiler to translate your machine code into binary code. And another form is also present of compiler. It is compiler. It is also there is another one form of compiler. It is interpreter. Interpreter is also a very powerful thing of computer, because when we write any type of program or code, so it will translate our code into bytecode or machine code. But the difference that we need to understand about our compiler and interpreter. So compiler is the compiler is translate our whole code in just one time. It means when we write thousand of line code, so our compiler will compile all over the code in just one time. And the other hand, the interpreter will translate the code just one line at a time, so that we can easily debug our code. Like suppose that if we done any type of error in our second or third line of code, so interpreter can know easily on the third line. But the compiler, firstly they compile whole code, then they give the error or result. But the interpreter, firstly they tell you the error, then after that it will stop the runtime or execution of the program. So if we talk about which is faster, compiler or interpreter, so the compiler is very faster than interpreter, because compiler translate our high level language code into machine code in just in one time, and the interpreter translate our code line by line. That's why it is very slowly. And the debug process is also very slow in our compiler time, because when we compile our whole code at a time, so we need to find our error on which line we have error. But in the interpreter, there is no need to find the error on the line, because interpreter already work on your particular line, that will give you the proper error in which line you have done any error. And if we talk about which language support interpreter and which language support the compiler, so the C and C++ programming language support the compiler. That means when you write any type of program in C language or C++ language, then it will translate your whole code in just one at a time. And if you write any code in Python or JavaScript, so the JavaScript and Python is the interpreter programming language. That means when you did any error on the second or third line of code, then it will easily detect and it will tell you about your error, and will also tell the line of the error where you did any error, so you can easily correct on that time. So these are the basic difference of the compiler and interpreter, and I already told you about what is compiler. Compiler is a translator between the user and the computer. So if you want to more knowledge about this, so you can I also want to tell that the more things about our compiler. So the compiler is built by some specific software. Like compiler is also a software which is also built by some any other programming language. But there is a high chance of not a very high level language like Python or JavaScript. This type of compiler is built on the basis of our low level language like C or C++, because this is very compatible with our machine and it can easily communicate with our hardware and the machine. And if we talk about the third one, that is also very important, like assembler. So the assembler is also a part of our translator, but it translates our code from the assembly language to our machine code. The assembly code is also written on the previous time, but after that the programmer and the person, they make easier for our work easier, and they make the high level language, which is firstly translate in the assembly language, then after that it will translate into the machine code, and it will also called as the binary code. So if you want to more knowledge about compiler and interpreter, so you can contact me, and you can also visit on the Google, and you can search the compiler and interpreter, and you can get the information from there. So thanks.